I would like you to hit the like button at the beginning because every time you hit the like button, you are letting YouTube know that what you are seeing and hearing is edifying for you so it can be shared with others. That's why hitting the like button is so important. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel.
It had to happen. Your title was so powerful. When I read the name of your ministry, it had to happen.
Great day, everyone. Please bear with me. Great day, everyone. We're here live today with the girl Erica Wilson that it had to happen for our Monday Night Madness. And man, do we have a treat for you guys on tonight. The NFL moms, mothers of motivated sons. Woo! We're going to show the pre-recorded of the live Tailgate and Tea Time. So let me just go ahead and bring on the beautiful ladies while we wait for the others. So here we go. Let's bring on Miss Sandra Perryman. Welcome.
Hello.
Let's bring on Miss Ebony Sturrup. Welcome.
Hello.
And the beautiful Natasha Pierre. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome. All right. It says Champions of the Game is a perfect blend of skill and strategy. Through the eyes of NFL moms, mothers of motivated sons presents our first annual Tailgate and Tea Time. And the topic is Champions of the Game. Monday Night Madness, take 20. The champions are defined by their skills and determinations. Moms Tailgate at Tea Time, Champions of the Game, featuring NFL moms Erica Wilson, Sandra Perryman, pro athlete Alan Hurns, and Denzel Perryman. Pro cheerleader Kelly Davis, surgeon Dr. Barry Davis, mental health counselor Ebony Sturrup, and the beautiful host Natasha Pierre, as we share our skills and determination on being a champion of the game. Tailgate and Tea Time is designed to be accessible and enjoyable for all. Don't wait any longer. Join Champions of the Game and get inspired. So are you guys ready to kick off this exciting journey with us? Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It will let you know every time we go here live at It Had to Happen. So ladies, what do you think about the time we had?
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes,
Let me
it
tell
was amazing.
you. Right? It was, from start to finish, there was so much love in that room. Let's shout out our audience really quick. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Happy Memorial Day. Hey, Deshanna. Natasha says, welcome. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, because I sure forgot to put it. DP. Hey, Erica. Hey, DP, how are you? Wendell, listen, Mr. Sturrup, y'all wait till y'all see him, okay? Okay. And our superstar, Miss Shannon Jaguar Stever, she was one of our sponsors. My God, let me tell y'all. So we're going to go one at a time. So Sissy saying you did the beautiful decor. Also, the food was tasty, you guys. I'm telling you, you had to be in the building in order to see. But we hope we shared some light for you guys on tonight. But Sissy saying, how was that for you?
Oh, I tell people all the time, they see the finished product, but they don't see the behind the scenes, everything that entails, to make it look like that. But I do work under pressure. I don't like to ask for help, but I got it done with the help of the workers at the center. So it was exciting. Nervous. I was nervous. And yeah. I don't know. I was just nervous. Just wanted everything to go, good.
Well,
Yeah.
you know
And
that
when I do decorate, I'm kind of OCD, so everything got to be in order, in place. So yeah,
But one thing about it, or two things for sure. We know anytime 10K Creation step in the building to do anything, it's gonna be beautiful. That's first of all. And
thank you.
oh, yeah, she don't like asking for help, guys, because I asked her in advance, did she need help? So she don't like asking for help. I had to call the guy at the center to tell him, can you please help my sissy? And Jordan, shouts out to you if you're listening in. The
Yep.
city of Miramar employees that was there that night, they stepped up. You
Wow.
hear
Yes,
me?
they
From
did.
start to finish.
Yes,
Oh
they
my
did.
God, they really did. So if you ever think about having an event, go to Sunset Lakes Community Center. That staff that they had there that night was amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
So, all right, Ebony, let's see what your intake was about it.
Oh, it was so beautiful. Everything, we have done so much together here on the podcast. It was just beautiful to come together finally, and meet and just kind of commune with each other, finally to come
Yeah.
together. It was just beautiful. Just having that fellowship with each other. And then, the food was amazing, the decor was amazing, the conversation was great, the
Yeah.
people were even more great. It was just lovely, and I can't wait to see something, of this magnitude again or even greater. It was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
man. It was. It really was. And let me tell you, I think the highlight for me, I'm not going to jump into that because I don't want to be a spoiler. I don't want to spoil it. But Natasha, what would you say? How was your experience?
Oh, it was definitely one of the highlights of my month. I watched the recap video today and I was reliving every moment from the moment I arrived on site until the moment I left. It was a high. It was just fun, comfortable, love, sweet, genuine laughter. It was great. There's nothing that I can say like, oh yeah, that should have been better. The food, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Decorations, the decor, everything was ready to go. The team, videographers, photographers, DJ, everyone was in place, in position, understood their assignment, and the result was a phenomenal event.
Indeed, it was. Let me tell you, when I left there, I was just so full. And when I don't want to say high because I was high too, but high off of the love that was in the room. It was just, I mean, just beautiful. Again, just beautiful. Everything just came together. Again, so much love in the room. The participation, I mean, everything was top notch. I can't pick one single thing that I will have changed. What about you, ladies?
No.
No, I don't see a need to change anything. I think everything flowed and it was just great. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you, from walking inside, oh my God, and just looking around and to see like the tables filled with people, not just the tables being filled with people, just how beautiful everything was. And those chairs, guys, we sat in, listen, they was not
Everything.
real.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
You guys should have seen me and Sissy going, trying to pick these chairs out. And I say, Sissy, I think this one right here. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm
It was all
telling
the
you.
details too. The
Yeah.
centerpieces. It
Mhm.
wasn't until the night was over, we were breaking down that I realized just how many elements went into the night.
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, the centerpieces and then the vase and then the chairs I was like, okay, it was just beautiful. Phenomenal
It,
job, Tay.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
it
Yeah.
really
You could tell
was.
that it was you could tell that it was done out of love,
Mm-hmm.
and you could feel the love.
Yeah.
And just walking in the room, the love was there. You can see the love sitting at every table. You saw it through the families that were there. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was amazing.
It was.
Amazing.
It was from the conversation, how everything just flowed.
Yeah.
Natasha, you did a phenomenal job with the questions that you were asking. And again, like it just flowed so well. I'm telling y'all, you had to be in the building. We can't wait to show you guys the video. Please do bear with us because we just want to get, see what these ladies think about. And we're waiting for our other panelists to come on. I guess, it's Memorial Day, so people are running late. I know Alan is with the kids over to a birthday party, but we're waiting for Dr. Kelly, Dr. B. Kelly. But I'm telling y'all, amazing. So let me ask you, ladies, what would you say that was your highlight? Starting with you, Sandra.
I would say I have two. One I won't say because I'll wait till you show the video.
No, we can
But
talk about it. We can talk about it.
okay, the entertainment and Natasha introducing us as we walked in.
Oh, yeah, she did a great job.
Mm.
Let me tell you, she did but
Yeah.
Natasha, you were supposed to be introduced to Mama.
You know what? Here's the thing. I got there and I just got into what do I need to do mode? What do I need to know so that everything can run smoothly? So a lot of even like the interviews and everything, I did all of that even before we got started because the decor was set, the step and repeat was there, so I was ready to go. My focus was on the panel, and as a moderator, I'm in the background. My focus is to make sure you all look amazing, that you have everything that you need, the audience is aware of who you are and they know the story, the background, to ask the questions that the audience wants to know. So that was my job on that day. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you my highlight. I've got two. So one is an intangible, is a feeling. Sometimes you go to events and you connect with some people, but there's some people that aren't leaning into the night and the event, and they're kind of standoffish. That event, every person in the room, every single person that I spoke to, that I encountered, that I ate with, that everyone was on the same wavelength, same spirit, same energy, same frequency, same love. It was the thermostat was set to love. Everyone came in and regulated to that temperature. It was phenomenal. It was just amazing. And I love that because, sometimes you want to be in an environment where even if people don't know your name, you can feel their heart. And that was the room for me. And then it was the answers to the questions. You all gave a masterclass on parenting, a masterclass on life, overcoming adversity, getting through tough times. I mean, I'm still journaling on things that I extracted from the day. So I'm excited to see the video.
I can't wait to show you guys. Listen, when I was watching, I was tearing up because, again, like you said, Natasha, it was not one person. Everybody mingled with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the love that, again, we cannot express that enough. Ebony, just go ahead and tell your highlight. It was just
I had two highlights. One of my highlights were before the event, and behind the scenes actually. So one of my highlights were prior to the event starting, and it was with Natasha actually, and it was actually my children and their encounter with her and her interviewing them. So that was a highlight for me because my daughter got to be interviewed by her, and it was just a beautiful moment to see that, and to see her. And she was just like, "Oh, mommy, I got to choose my question, and I chose the easy one, right?" So and she was just so excited that she answered that question. And I just thought that was beautiful that they were able to be a part of the event in their own way. And I just thought that was lovely and I'm not sure if she was able to interview anyone else, but I just thought that was just a beautiful thing that they were able to have their own little part in the event as well. And then another part for me was our moment prior to going out there. I think that it's beautiful to, put God first in everything that I do. And I don't like to be attached. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't like to be attached, but I don't, to something that that doesn't allow me that space. That's what I say. I don't feel comfortable being attached to things that don't allow me that space.
Right.
And it's beautiful to know that I can be connected to a group of people who are all on one accord in that space. And it was just lovely to see that everybody lined up and everybody understood when they got that bottle and they sprayed, they knew what it was. Nobody had to ask the question. Nobody was like, well, what are we doing? Like, it was just like okay, yep, spray, swipe, and it was just beautiful that we just all spoke the unspoken language and just held hands. And I don't know if it meant anything to anybody else, but it really did. And it set the tone for me because, like Sandra, I'm not a very social
No.
butterfly. I'm not. Even though my job puts me in that space, I'm not. So it takes a lot to kind of calm me and get me into a space. And that's one of the things that does it for me. So I was like, okay, God. So when it happened, I was like, okay, God, you know what you're doing. And he did it. And it just set the tone. And I was like, all right, this is gonna be all right for me. And so it was definitely a highlight. That was definitely one of the highlights for me.
Oh my God. Let me tell you. Let's go ahead and bring in Kelly and Dr. B so we can hear their highlight. Welcome. We can see you. You look dark.
It's a little dark in here. I need to turn my light on. Dr. B's on his way. So
Okay. We know it's Memorial Day. We're sorry, guys, but we could not wait any longer to show this video because it was just burning me. Nobody saw the video.
I know.
I couldn't wait to show it. So, Kelly, we were talking about the highlights from that night. What would you say would be your highlight moment?
Oh my gosh. I think just to see God flowing, just to hear how you met Natasha and, Sandra and how, Ebony came into the picture. And then of course, Dr. B and I, it was like this island of misfits puzzle that just got beautifully put together. And I say that in such a respectful way because we each have something to bring to the table in our own profession or our own experience. And, God just uses people that are not perfect. And it was the imperfect people that came together perfectly. And it just, I met Natasha for the first time. I met Ebony for the first time, like I'd known them forever. And so it just, like they were talking, I was kind of listening to a little bit backstage, the prayer definitely, before, because it really is when it's a God-centered thing and your intention really, however you're trying to help people or whatever platform that you're operating in, when you work through that anointing, it can't fail. And, there was just a shift in that room after we prayed that it was just like Ebony said, it was, when you're on one accord like that, because at the end of the night, we really just wanted to bring glory to God. And my second was praying for the young lady in the audience, because I love it when the Spirit moves. And Erica, you're so wonderful just to kind of move when the Spirit hits you. And that was just a beautiful prayer. To me is just the most, humble and honorable thing that we can do for other people, and especially those that might be hurting. And it was just a beautiful moment. That was for me. So.
Well, praise be unto God. I love, when he have his way, we try to have our way, but when God have his way, you just got to go ahead and move on out the way and let him have it.
Yeah.
But my highlight was, I have to, like you ladies, one of my highlights was somebody didn't tell me Mama Booey was going to be in the building. So when I got there, I looked and I did like this. I was like, wait a minute. And so bro met me at the door. He was like, yeah, she didn't want to tell you. She didn't want to tell you. So that right there was a highlight. Oh, I have 3. That was a highlight moment for me because I haven't seen her in so long. And then 2, when they did the tribute to her. The DJ did the tribute to her. That was amazing, very touching. Just to see you had your mother in the room with you. That I mean, that was just awesome to see. And then another moment for me was, I don't know why Sawanda Bradley is not on this show right now, but she's supposed to be logged in.
Sawanda. That's what I think that's my dance partner.
Yeah, but the other moment was for me, guys, when Denzel and Alan embraced each other. When Alan, Doctor B is in the building.
Sorry, guys. I had to become a little presentable. I've been a little busy doing dad and husband duty. So
It's okay. But that was one of the highlights for me to see when Alan got choked up. Denzel went over and embraced him. Let me tell you something. That right there was a tearjerker.
Yeah.
It definitely was a tearjerker. So, Dr. B, what would you say was your highlight moment of the night or moments?
to be honest, I would actually, the band coming in was like the thing that really kind of pulled everybody out of their shell, because before then everybody was fairly formal and reserved, and we go through the natural kind of motions of having an event like that. But once that came out, everybody just let go, and they were just able to just have a blast and just really get to mingle more. It just pulled everybody in together. And I mean, and that just took me back to the day. So I was in my element. Christian, the photographer, he's one of the men from my men's group, and he goes, he said, "I ain't never seen you move like that before." I said, "Well, brother, we've never been somewhere where I got a chance to dance."
Whoa! Yeah. Wait, did anybody get that? Because I've been looking for footage of Dr. B out there dancing. So did anybody?
No, that's highly coveted. No, that's highly coveted. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see a 250-pound man jumping around too much.
I think my husband may have that video.
I need that.
I think he may have it. Don't worry, he's in the comments. He'll let me know in a few minutes. But he's on there. He's talking about it. Yeah, he's talking about
Doc,
it.
you stole the dance floor.
He was on it.
Well, if you guys want to get a little snippet really quick, this is just a quick recap, really quick. So please do pay attention. Man, again, this event was amazing. Here we go. Are you ready?
Welcome to the first annual Mothers of Motivated Sons Tailgate and Tea Time. I'll be your host for today. I'm Natasha, Pierre, and now let's go inside. Here on the red carpet with Ebony Sturrup, licensed mental health counselor. Ebony, welcome to M.O.M.S Tailgate and Tea Time.
Thank you so much for having me.
And what does it mean for you to be a part of an event like this on Mother's Day?
I am always excited to be a part of Moms with Motivated Sons. They have the most amazing, encouraging events. I love to encourage mothers of athletes and just children who are motivated in general. So it is always empowering to be a part of these events.
Now you are a mother, so first, happy Mother's Day. And your children are 13 and 16. What advice would you give for mothers of teenagers?
I would definitely say, to have patience, to communicate, and to listen. These kids are really just growing up, and teenagers are turning into young adults. It's very important to listen to them. They have voices, and they simply want to be heard.
love it. Thank you so much for joining us on the red carpet, and we'll be back with some more. And we're back on the red carpet, and I'm here with Kelly Davis, former pro cheerleader. Welcome to Mom.
Thank you. It's so exciting to be here. I'm so honored to be a part of this event of such beautiful people, such a great vibe. The energy's high. I'm just excited to get started.
So tell me what it's like for you to be a part of an event like this on Mother's Day.
It just helping empower women that are helping empower our young warriors, our men that are coming up, especially the godly, strong men. We really need that strength in America today and throughout the world. And so it means just to have that support and to be around women who have raised or are currently raising our kings, our future kings.
Now, you are a mom of a 19-year-old son, so you are definitely a mother of a motivated son. What advice would you give to mothers of other 19-year-olds and teenagers?
Wow, just from generation to generation, just love them where they are. Be honest with them, be truthful with them, and set clear expectations. Communication is key. Talk to your kids.
Love that. Thank you so much for being here. Kelly Davis will be back with more on the red carpet. I'm joined on the red carpet with a very special guest. We've got 8th grader Taylor. Welcome so much to the Mom's Tailgate and Tea Time.
Hi.
So I've got a question for you. Today's Mother's Day. What does Mother's Day mean to you?
Mother's Day means like it's the day where we can celebrate and thank our mothers for everything they've done for us and all the stuff they have put us through and just stuff like that.
Thank you for joining me on the red carpet. We'll be back with more.
Education comes first in my house. You couldn't even bring home a seed. If you brought home a seed, you were not getting on that field, you were not going outside.
Whatever you do, just give it your all, so when you look in the mirror, you could look here and sit back and say, hey, I gave it my all.
Characteristic barriers. Don't rob yourself of trying something new because you're afraid to fail. You fail 3 times, fail 4 times, do it. Just get up and do it. And guess what? There's going to be something else.
Listen to hear people, don't listen to respond.
It worked out for me, because I made it to the NFL, but I was just so predominantly just football.
Lessons that I learned, like I said, don't put God first, keep God first. To finish, always finish. My dad said I got to sacrifice.
Whatever you started, you finish it. And never give up, always put God first. And you can achieve anything it is that you want to achieve.
I don't worry nearly as much going into crazy things that I have to do because I realize if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then the outcome is God's. And so all I can manage is what I carry into it.
I brought memories.
Reliving it all over.
That was amazing, y'all. I'm cheering up. Let me tell you something. I could not wait. You don't know how many times I put this video together and tried to send it out to you all. I said, no, I want to wait for the show. It was burning me. I'm telling y'all. I tried to get it to y'all, but I was like, nope, I'm going to wait on the show. Man, Christian did a phenomenal job putting that video together. Tell me what that was like, seeing the interviews on the red carpet, to get snippets of, the show, and then to just see how beautiful the place was. Come on, Sissy Sand, you start first.
It was just breathtaking. Everything was just amazing. I mean, from start to finish, everything was just beautiful, amazing. I'm just still in awe, and just to see the video again, it just takes me back to the day of the event. It was well put together. It was something that we had talked about a long time. It was finally executed. So I'm just still in awe.
I'm telling you. And the thing about this is what we talked about. Didn't we say that, okay, we knew the tickets were slowly selling, right, guys? I say,
Yeah.
sis, I got a feeling we're going to reach them 50 or over. I have a fit right at the last minute. It just stopped pouring in and pouring
Yes.
and pouring in. And just, we didn't rehearse anything, guys.
Mm-mm.
This just, you can tell like this was all God in this event. Because I'm telling you, from walking now, nothing was rehearsed. We just talked about having the event, and everybody's sitting in their bios to Natasha, which she did a phenomenal job with.
She did a phenomenal job. Yes,
man, it was just flowing so good. So, Ebony, what do you think about the video you just see?
I think the video was amazing. It captured exactly the everything about the event. It was just beautiful. You could see from the smiles, you could see from the enjoyment, you could see it all. I couldn't help but cheese while watching everything. It was just great.
So seeing your daughter up on the red carpet doing an interview, what was that like for you as a mother?
I laughed because she had another question she was going to answer. And, my kids don't care. I was joking with my husband about it after the event. They don't care. They text me while up there, while I was sitting, and she was texting me to tell me which questions, she had the option to respond to. And the other question was, what did I teach her, or something like that. And she said, I'm so happy I didn't choose that one. I chose the other one because I couldn't think about what you taught me. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, what? Like, how can you not remember the things that I taught you? I said, that means that I didn't teach you well. And she's like, no, Ma, it's not that. I just couldn't remember it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I was like, I think that would have been a better question. It would have been more powerful, but I'll let you pass on that one. So, but she did a good job. Yeah. She did a good job. So I'll give her kudos when she wakes up out of her sleep. I'll give her a pat on the back. She did a good job.
All right. Okay. So Natasha, what was that like for you to see the recap?
It was such the day was phenomenal. The day was great. However, or in addition to everything leading up to the day, I had 3 events that canceled or were postponed until later on in the year because I wasn't supposed to be there. When you initially asked me, I was like, oh, I just, got booked for something. I'm not going to make it. 3 events, one right after the other. And I'm like, this is weird. Okay. So I'm like, all right, God, I'll just go with you. So that's when I called you. I was like, all right, I'm available. It was the drive down there, but the week before was so intense emotionally and mentally for me that I was like, you know what, God, I'm just going to drive down there and I'm just expecting you to do something. I didn't know what the something was. I didn't know how it was going to look. But as soon as I got on the property, the staff at the facility was amazing. Walking in, recognized, Kelly, we just started talking as if we've been friends at least 82. So, everyone was just warm. So watching the video is like great memories of a time that was a defining moment for me in my month, because I came back recharged, refreshed, replenished, and ready to go. So this was a highlight, not just of my month, but of my year.
Well, I'll tell you what, Natasha, I had to tell God on you, so he made sure that you was in the building. God work. Because I'm gonna tell you something else that's funny too. Because I got a text from Kelly before the show, and she said, we're gonna try and make it. So I went to respond. And I started to respond and I stopped. I said, all right, God, like you come on, you need to handle this, God. I'm gonna finish getting dressed now. You need to handle this. You know, so when she said try, I didn't even did I no, I don't even think I respond back until I was on the show.
Yeah, yeah. We're coming.
I'm telling you, God was all in this, y'all. When I first reached out to her, she was like, "Oh, I have another event," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So then when she called me back and she said, "You would not believe this," and I was like,
Couldn't
"Okay,
believe it.
let me hear." So when
I
she
mean,
told me that
one event is you know, okay, that happens, but 3 events in the same week postponed. Okay, all right, I'm just gonna go with you, and I had to be there. I had to be there.
Yeah,
I did.
yes. And the thing is, even after she came off the road, guys, I didn't even share this with you all, but as soon as she came off the road, she reached out to me. Once she checked in, I checked her in the hotel and everything, and then she reached out and she was like, "Well, can I come over and help or with anything, or is it a meeting tonight?" I say, "Girl, just rest. Just rest." Listen, she didn't even know at the time I was struggling putting those bags together. Okay. I say, "No, you just go ahead, you just get some rest. You just got off the road. So just take your time. We need you fresh for tomorrow. Just go ahead and take your time and get some rest." But it's just so amazing, like when something is of God, he's not gonna let it fail.
Right.
You know, and then when he see the hearts of his people, every last panelist, every last guest, everybody who supported, I can say I believe that they saw the vision.
Yeah.
They believed in the vision because it just boom, boom, boom came together. I don't know no event where there's no rehearsing being done that came together like that event. Since you know, we be trying to rehearse stuff and no,
Yeah.
beautiful, man, just beautiful.
Yes.
But y'all ain't see Kelly, boy. Kelly came out with those arms. Somebody on Facebook was like, "Man, look at her arms." I said, I had to tag her in that. Thanks to Dr. B. So what was that like, guys, for you to see that, Dr. B and Kelly?
Oh, wow. I mean, I knew. Look, I know Erica well enough that when she has something on her heart that God's going to put on her heart to fulfill, it's going to fulfill successful. And so there wasn't like a worry. I was glad I was there to support you guys because I know you had a little heavier burden coming from out of town and, trying to get, the things together. And with Sissy doing, I love that she got to kind of see all the background and then kind of the final, vision at the end, when everything was decorated and everything. So that was kind of cool for her. But you guys worked seamlessly together, like without even communicating. That's what was so funny. And, like you said, what you can't rehearse. But I do have to say that, Sawanda, I think me and you need to go on the road as the new Salt and Pepper.
Oh,
the little dance off. That's right.
Wait, so we're gonna put Sawanda and Kelly together, and Dr. B and Wendy.
That's right. That was my girl. Like,
I was dying. I was like, "Oh snap! Here it goes." I was like, "We're doing a dance off."
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
We need you and Ebony's husband. Okay.
Yeah, Dr. B. Dr. B can definitely.
As long as we're gonna eat oxtail when it's over, we good.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
And he'll make his conch. He'll make his conch, and you guys can hit the road together.
Right on.
Definitely.
But real talk.
She said she ready, Kelly. She ready.
That's my girl.
Real talk. In a time in society where every culture is fulfilling every ugly stereotype, it was awesome because everything from Denzel and Alan, let's be honest, how many of those brothers get up and talk at the end of a game and you're like, "Oh my God, how did you even get through college?" and they can't articulate anything, and they clearly are just nothing more than jocks. All right. And it hurts my feelings to see that. I mean, we see some of these guys are now out of the NFL, but that's what they were known for. But to see those two men being as articulate and as intelligent as they are, and it coming off in just an amazing way, the women, Ebony, Natasha, just everybody showing out. It made me feel good because the people that see this, it breaks every stereotype that people are seeing nowadays.
Yeah.
And it just needs to be shown more and more. And I just, it felt really good.
Yeah.
It felt really good. And I was like, man, this is amazing, because we've all been to events and people put them together and you're going, oh my God, I can't believe I got sucked into this. And you're looking around going, this is thrown together. And you're just like, how did I end up here? And but it was like something you walked away from and you were like, that's right. I was a part of that. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to disparage any of the events that I've been to, but those events know who they are. They knew it was thrown together because I gave my honest opinion at the end. I was like, come on, you guys, really. I mean, because one thing, if y'all don't know me, is you will always know where you stand with me.
Always.
I don't play around with any of that stuff. I'm too old. I ain't got time. People need to stop faking out in this world and tell people like it is. Like, if they're wasting your time and they're not your match, just be honest. We ain't got to tell them, but it's sometimes when it's your people, you got to just be like, look, come on, man. I know you're better than this. Like, why do we do this? And that event really, it set a benchmark for the next event. So we think that is good. All right. But that's just the benchmark. And so that means the next time it's got to be even more. And to be honest with you, it ain't my thing, but I have a vision already. Just saying, I got this thing in my mind. It's all white and linen and gold. But just saying.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Party
Everybody wearing white.
All right.
You know what I mean?
love it.
You know what I mean?
We're ready. Like I was saying, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's right. That's the reason why I was late to the show, because I was out there getting ready. I ain't got to be. I'm always ready.
And I've already got my white outfit.
But listen, do you really think like we really would have to because everything was? I mean, it was perfect. I can't say that it was. I'm telling you, I can't see any. That was awesome. Maybe next time. Yes, you have to be in the building, Miss Betty. It was beautiful. I think the only thing like we could step up is our dress code, because other than that, even if I looked beautiful too. But you said the all white thing, so we definitely would be. And listen here, y'all. Natasha got on one of the beautiful shirts that y'all don't know. I was up doing yes. And I was really gonna text everybody today and say, could you wear your shirts today? But I didn't. Look at there. Oh my God, you guys are so I'm telling y'all, this was good.
You know what was great about it? This wasn't an NFL event. It wasn't just a mother's event. It wasn't just a parent's event. It was everyone. Everyone was included. Every person, every age. If you are human and have experienced adversity, challenging times, tough times, whatever, everyone was able to have a voice on the panel. And that's what I love. It wasn't just like, we weren't talking about the difference between, what's a down and difference between offense and defense. No, this was just life stuff and what it's like to raise men. And I love what you said, Dr. B, because what impressed me about Denzel and Ellen was that what we saw on the stage wasn't birthed when they got to the NFL. That was in them from childhood. That came from parenting, that came from their upbringing. There's no way they could be as solid and foundationally sound as they are, rooted and grounded as they are, if this started when they get into the NFL. There's no way. Absolutely no. So seeing and hearing from their mouths, their journey, what has kept them, their mind stable, how they continue to stay connected to God, the value of education and family, their why, redefining and defining their identity, all of those. I'm telling you, I'm still journaling about it because there was a lot of takeaways from it, but it was meant for anyone. And that's another thing that I loved about it.
Yeah. Definitely a need was met at this event. I would say that you left that event with a need met. From the youngest to the oldest had a need met, and there was no confusion about that. Like, you could see it through the event that need was met, even if it wasn't met during panel time, even if it was met during the time of the Junkanoo, even if it was needed through the celebration of music. You knew in the moment the need was met, whether it was met through fellowship, whether it was met through prayer, whether it was met through the words of encouragement, through, like, you saw the needs being met at every moment. Like, it was amazing. As a person sitting on, I don't know if you guys recognized it, but on the stage, I could just see from every nod of the head of individuals when words were being said, when they were making a connection, when it was hitting them, and they were just like, like it was, from tears that were falling because you made a comment and it hit home, and individuals had a tear fall from their heads, from their eyes. You just saw the needs being met. People leaving out of the venue talking about what was being said or what was going on. That's how you knew the needs were being met. This was not just a great event because the decor and the food was great. It was a great event because it was an impact that was made. And there is not many places that you can, go to and leave and say that an impact was made. That's not conversation that's being had when you leave somewhere. So it speaks volumes for, the moms from Motivated, the whole event in itself, because for you to be able to pick a panel of individuals who could move by the spirit enough, right? Because that's all that is. That's not our intellect. We are grateful for our intellect, but it's not our intellect. It's the ability to be humble enough to be led. And so, because it's Natasha being able to, we call it read the room, but be humble enough to move by the spirit when something is going on, for Natasha to go, you know what? Okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. Let me just stand back and let this happen. You know what I mean? Like, you had to know who you needed to have in those spots. Because you could have got the wrong person who would have been like, okay, that's enough. So now let's go back to this question. Okay, Dr. B, so what's the, what I mean? And it would have made that event everything other than what it needed to be. So
true.
Man, I'm telling
true.
you. What else said? LOL, I support it. Yes. And that is so true. The impact, that's what makes the difference. And the thing is, when you can get a group of people that have, we know that God blesses all of us with gifts, right? And everyone brought their gift to the table that day. And what they shared was, just life-changing. I'm sure some people walked out of there with like, man, it was not, like you said, it was not just football. It wasn't, it was just an overall godly God just had his way. Just bottom line, he just had his way. He just showed up. And it wasn't that, this event was done for financial gain. It was done to impact. That's the big. How can you serve? Where can you make a difference in someone's life? We could give someone $1 or $2, but that money is going to be spent, but what are you leaving with them that's going to impact them, that's going to leave a lasting impression on their heart?
Yeah.
We're going to show you guys.
What else I saw? And Ebony will know this, especially over the last 4 years, loneliness has been a major mental health concern in this country. And in that room, there were no wallflowers. There was no one hiding in the shadows in the back by themselves. Everyone was connected and communicated, dancing and laughing and enjoying each other. So for that 3-4 hours that we were together, we had the not just connection, but community, but family, but love. It was just wonderful.
Beautiful.
It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was
It
beautiful.
was. It was a guy that was with the DJ. He was like, his mom is not here anymore. He was like, but this is one of the best Mother's Day I have had by far. And just to hear a guy say that,
Yeah.
but we're
Yeah.
talking about it. Who's ready to see the beautiful event in itself? Oh my God. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Wait.
Ready,
Here
ready.
we go, guys. All right, let's go.
Family therapist, Ebony Sturrup. Ebony is the founder and clinical director of Ebony Counseling and Professional Services, LLC. Her practice was created to provide faith-based and traditional counseling services. That I'm proud to introduce first up, the first mother-son duo we have, Sandra and Denzel Perryman. Sandra Perryman is a wife, grandmother, and mother of 3, including Pro Bowl linebacker Denzel Perryman of the Los Angeles Chargers. Sandra is an educator, the owner of 10K Creations Event Planning, and a member of Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated. And before you take another step, we want you all to stay right there so we can get some music for you and honor you in the way that you need to be honored today. Listen, we're not against you having a dance with your mom. DJ, you can get anything on for him. You got it? Okay. Standing with Sandra is her son, Denzel Perryman, pro linebacker with the LA Chargers. He is a devoted father and graduate of Coral Gables Senior High School. He attended the University of Miami before being drafted to the San Diego Chargers. 2024 marks him entering his 10th season as an NFL player. We welcome both of them. Y'all are not gonna get me to sing. That's not happening. Not gonna happen. You sing? Oh. You sick? Okay. We wanna have some music, but I want Sandra to get off her feet and to come on up here. So Denzel, can you escort your mom up on the stage, please? Thank you. Sandra and Denzel Perryman, everyone. Let's welcome them to the stage. Thank you. Up next, we have our last mother-son duo for today. Please help me welcome Erica and Alan. Born and raised in Miami, Florida, Erica Wilson is a hard-working philanthropist who is driven by purpose and committed to fulfilling her life goals. She is a God-fearing motivational speaker who learned very early to be diligent in the pursuit of what was always best for her family. Today, Erica is joined on the panel with her son, former NFL player Alan Hurns. Alan is a God-fearing man, phenomenal son, an amazing father of 2 boys. He graduated from the University of Miami, where he played college football, and was signed by the Jacksonville Jaguars as an undrafted free agent in 2014. Hurns went on to play for the Dallas Cowboys and retired as a pro football wide receiver with the Miami Dolphins. Please help me welcome Erica and Alan to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your panel for today. Again, the first annual Mothers of Motivated Sons Tailgate and Tea. We're delighted to have you here. Panelists, you can take your seats as we welcome Erica.
You're always down for me, have always been around for me, even when I was bad. You've shown me right from my wrongs. Yes, you did. And you took up for me when everyone was down on me. You always did understand. You gave me strength to go on. There were so many times looking back when I was so afraid. And then you come to me and say to me, I could face anything. And no one else can do what you've done for me. You'll always be, you will always be the girl in my life.
pleasure of speaking to our panelists today, and as time permits, we'll take some questions. I know you all may have some. But today, on Mother's Day, with our moms, with our cheerleaders, licensed mental health counselors, doctors, we want to tap into their wisdom, their expertise, their knowledge, and have something that we can take back with us. So it's Mother's Day, so I'm going to start with the moms. For Erica and for Sandra, and whoever wants to go first can, I want to start off with what lessons and values did you all prioritize in your sons while they were growing up?
Good evening.
Yes. It's on. What values, what lessons, what advice did you give and prioritize to your sons as they were growing up that you think led to them being the people that they are today?
Good evening, everyone. Okay, I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone. The values that I instilled in Denzel was education was always first. Whatever you started, you finish it. And to never give up, always put God first, and you can achieve anything it is that you want to achieve.
Thank you.
Testing one. This one. Test. Great evening, everyone. The things that I instilled in Alan, same thing Sissy said, education was first in my house. You couldn't even bring home a C. If you brought home a C, you were not getting on that field, you were not going outside, you were not doing anything. But the number one thing is to definitely put God first and to always lead and never be a follower.
Thank you. And this one is to Denzel and Alan. We know what your moms have said they prioritize for you. What do you remember? What lessons, what values do you remember that you've held on to until this point in your life?
Of course, with the grades, I had to do that because there was no way I wasn't playing football. So I made the grades that I had to make. And as far as just putting God first, I think she instilled that in me. And the biggest thing that I really live with is just having faith. No matter what I go through, I'm always had that faith that I'm gonna come out the other end of it.
Thank you.
To piggyback what Alan said, definitely school. Obviously, she's a teacher, so yeah, the C's was not allowed, but I used to tell my mama C's get degrees. I mean, I know it's not the best, but lessons that I learned, like you said, put God first, keep God first, to finish, always finish. My dad used to tell me I got to sacrifice, and I learned to stop talking in the 5th grade. I talked about this on the pod. I'm not gonna do it, but y'all know. Okay, yeah, in the 5th grade, for y'all who don't know the story. There's 365 days out of the year, 335 of them I got whooped. The other 30 was when I was on summer break. But yeah, I learned not to talk in class, stop being a class clown. Now it don't matter.
Thank you. Now, all of our panelists are parents, so we want to tap into their wisdom. And I'm going to go to Kelly next, because Kelly, in addition to being a mom, I know we're on stage with 2 pro players. You're a mom, but you also participated competitively and professionally as a cheerleader, which is also a sport. Can you tell us about what it was like for you as a cheerleader, what kept you motivated, not only through middle school, high school, college, but also in the NFL?
Welcome, everybody. I think for me, it's just I loved being a part of a team. I was a competitive gymnast for the first few years of my life, about 7, 8 years old. And even though I loved being part of the team, you still do so much individually. And so when the opportunity for cheerleading came along, I was able to use my gymnastics background, but then, got to be a part of all the sports. So I cheered for football and basketball. So I felt like I was a part of the community at school and the recreational aspect of it. And then I'm also a big competitor. I don't like to lose. And so in high school and college, it was more, we did competitions. So we did nationals, state championship, my senior year in high school, and then went on to national competitive national cheerleading in college for 4 years. The difference with the professional is it was more dancing, so I definitely didn't have as many injuries getting dropped on my head from the stunts and basket tosses, which was a nice change because I still loved football, and so I was still able to be a part of that even though I was just part of the dance team at the time. So,
Thank you. Now, there's a huge difference in watching a sport and actually playing the sport. That's for all of the Monday morning quarterbacks that like to tell everyone what to do. For Ebony, you are our licensed mental health counselor. What are some of the unique challenges? I'm a mental health educator. That's the field that you work in. What are some of the unique challenges that professional athletes encounter just with the journey from childhood, academics, dealing with coaches, and even competing at a professional level?
So the challenges that we find the athletes encountering are the performance anxiety and depression. Overall, we experience the anxiety, we experience the depression, but that performance anxiety is greater because they're more concerned about who they're gonna let down. They're concerned about, how they're going to excel, if they're going to excel, if they're going to win that game, if they're going to, get that personal record, at that meet or at that game, what their stats are going to look like, if they're going to get recruited, to that team and so on and so forth. So that's one of the greater issues that they're finding themselves dealing with. Surprisingly so, we see a lot of athletes come in dealing with eating disorders. They're dealing with concerns of what they're looking like, and if they're managing their weight in that sense, failure, and if if they're going to be kicked off a team. So those are greater issues. Social media is a concern. So really just kind of dealing with those pressures and how to handle it is one of the greater unique is not a word, I'm sorry, more unique issues that we find athletes coming into the mental health environment with nowadays.
I'm gonna go back to the pro moms, Erica and Sandra, because Denzel and Alan did not wake up one day and then get recruited. This was a journey from grade school, middle school, high school, college. How did you, and what advice would you give to parents right now of student athletes on how to best support and motivate their sons?
I would say to listen, not to hear, to listen, because mental health is extremely real. So, and be supportive. Be very supportive. It takes a village. So whatever they set out to do, just be supportive and listen and be more attentive to the things that's going on around them.
And for me, it will be keep the main thing the main thing. Keeping your head on straight, not allowing anything to get inside of your ear gates, because what we allow in our ear gates can affect us mentally. Also, when you're coming into this thing, and I want everybody to understand this, everybody see, I guess, the so-called glitz and glamour part of it, but you don't see the behind the scenes part of it. You just don't. You lose people in the midst of it, but you still have to stay the course. When these guys are hurt, they fall off, they get thrown under the bus. You loved when you're out there, but the moment you make a fall or take a fall, they just throw you under the bus. But they're human. They're human. Our kids are human. When they get off that field, when they take those pads and those helmets off, they're men. They're human. They see things, they hear things. And this biggest thing that we have to teach our men, you can cry. It's okay to cry. Because if someone is hurting you, and we do this as moms, and I'm sure the moms could attest to that, if our kids do something that they should not be doing, we spank them. But what is the first thing we say? You better not cry. You're instilling, what you're doing is you're instilling fear in your child to be able to come to talk to you about anything. So when they grow up, they have all of this bottled up in them because they don't know how to show their emotions. So men, cry if you need to cry. Yell if you need to yell. Whatever it is, take care of you first, you know? And one of the things that I had to learn, and I love being very, very transparent, I had to learn healthy boundaries this year. I never knew them. And when my son set those healthy boundaries for me, I said to him, how dare you? I'm your mother. No, but get this. I was not listening to him to hear. I was listening to respond because I'm thinking as a parent, I know it all. No, sometimes as parents, we can be wrong. We can. So I learned that this year. So if you can set some healthy boundaries, set them. It's definitely okay because I didn't understand it at first.
Thank you. Dr. Barry, did you play football? You did? Okay, because I was going to say, unless Dr. Barry played football, the only two people on the panel who actually know about football would be Denzel and Alan, and so that's the importance of us listening to them. Now, Ebony spoke about some of the mental health challenges, and Dr. Barry, I want to speak to you a little bit about the physical health challenges that you have seen in your career, and what are some of do you see any new trends, advancements in how pro football players are being treated now?
Sure. Orthopedic injuries obviously are very common, not just with football, but with just about every major sport, but you're going to see it a lot more with football, soccer, a lot of orthopedic injuries to the legs and the wrist. The biggest thing right now is obviously traumatic brain injuries. They've been going on and on about it, and the thing is they're talking about the numbers have increased over the years. I don't think it's the numbers have increased. I think it's just the fact that now we're being aware of it. So these aren't new, and football nowadays is far more protective than it was 20 years ago. And the padding is more improved, technology is better, but we still have injuries, and traumatic brain injuries being the biggest thing. They're now introducing new helmets that are basically like a soft shell to absorb it, because everybody thinks that the injuries just come directly from the side or directly from the front, but now they're learning that based on a player's position, they actually need different types of helmets based on the reoccurring injuries that they would see in that position. And so technology is there. Obviously with technology comes more money, and even though the NFL makes billions of dollars, there have actually been some teams that have been reluctant to embrace some of the new technology because it costs more money. But it is a real thing. The NFL has done a decent job trying to mitigate some of the injuries. If somebody has any, they talk about ataxia and some of these other things you may hear during the game. So if they're not making sense after a play, they're having involuntary muscle contractions, things like that, that make them a no-go and they can't play anymore. But that's a double-edged sword, because the players at the end of the day are commodities, and also this is how these men make a living. And so it's a fine line between telling somebody they can't play when they feel like they can versus benching them, because not every player is on a guarantee, and not every player is going to get a paycheck if they don't play the next 2 Sundays. And so it is a very big deal, and I think I think the NFL needs to be aware of the things, but also think that they also have to not do one rule fits all for all the players, because not all traumatic brain injuries are the same. And we've had 2 this last year that are very much highlighted. And so what happens is anybody who just gets their clock cleaned and they're goofy for a minute, they pull them out for a game. But anybody who's played a contact sport, whether it's football, fighting, boxing, MMA, somebody's cleaned your clock before, and you get up and you're a little out of it for a minute, doesn't mean you should sit out the rest of the game. But the flip side of that, there's some people who will still try to play knowing they really are injured, and they can have long-term effects. And so it's a balancing game, and I think that the NFL needs to work with the players more closely to kind of find a happy, a good area that makes everybody happy and safe.
Thank you. Yes. I know several high school and college players that are waiting on letters from colleges. They are watching, today's the NBA lottery, so they're watching that. They're entering the draft. They're talking to people in Europe. They want a place to play. These are student athletes. These are children. Regardless of how they look, they're children. What advice do you all have for student athletes? The 8th grader, the 10th grader, the one who just graduated and is hoping to go in one round, anybody's round. What advice do you have for them that allowed you to remain calm in that time and that would be helpful to them?
I'll probably say a couple things. What advice I give to someone that's going through the process, is just control what you can. Treat the process right. If you got to take care of your body, do it. And whatever you do, just give it your all. So when you look in the mirror, you could look here and sit back and say, hey, I gave it my all. And also on the other end of it, that's not related to the sport, I would say just try to venture off and explore other things. For me, it worked out for me, because I made it to the NFL, but I was just so predominantly just football, to where it's when it's time to make that transition, it's a little tougher because that's all you really know. And football, it doesn't last forever, So when you're a kid, or whether you're elementary, middle school, whatever, try to pick up different hobbies so you could have that transition, because a lot of people is not gonna make it. That's just the truth of it, But when you explore other things, it can make that transition a little bit easier. It's still gonna be tough because once you playing football so long, it's pretty much your identity. That's what everybody know you as. They relate you to that. Even now that I'm not playing, people always say dang, you don't play anymore. And for me, it's never a time where it's dang, I wish I was still playing. Not 1 second. But it's also in my mind, it's dang, I want to find the next thing. So people can know that I'm more than a football player. So it comes with a lot.
I mean, he said it all. No, I ain't trying to be funny. He said it all. And the last one hit me. It's bigger than the sport. You're a human. At the end of the day, like you said, we take that helmet off. We hear, we see. And I'm the type of person, I remember your face. I remember everything. You'll be talking in the stands, but after, you want to take a picture with me. Nah, I'm not the football player. I'm Denzel. So I'm not with that. So just be true to yourself. Like you said, not everybody's going to make it. Find something to do. When I get done with football, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I got, some time. But like you said, I want to be remembered not just as a football player, but just as a good person in general.
And you will. This next question is for Ebony and for Kelly. Kelly, because you were a gymnast. In the last 4 years, we've seen Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles, several NBA players take some time off, NFL, throughout the sports. We've seen people take time off for their mental health, and the public often treats them as if they're doing something wrong and bad. From the days of Naomi and Simone, do you all see that we are doing better as a nation in allowing people to take care of their mental health? Or do we still have some work to do? And I'll start with you first, Kelly, because you are a gymnast.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. What I like seeing these gymnasts and these athletes take their own destiny if they need time off, because what you guys don't understand, especially at the Olympic level, when I was a competitive gymnast, we had 4 and 5 hour practices every single day. Now, I was 7, 8 years old, and that was just your regular gymnastics team. This was not a traveling Olympic trial, anything. So I can only imagine these girls actually go and live with the coaching staff. They live in the state where the gym they're training. I think one is in Dallas. So you're talking injuries. My hands would be so ripped
from the bar routines because my grips would fall off and I would have to get back the next day and do it. I remember my coach would clean my hands with warm water, and then we would put peroxide, Vaseline, and I would wear socks over my hands at night so that they would toughen back up for the next day at practice. Now that's just one event. There's, injuries, ankle injuries. You hit your head trying new things. You fall off the beam. You've got bruises from here to here. So it is torturous, and those girls are professional because they make it look effortless. These girls make it look effortless, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But just like I believe Erica said, you guys don't see behind the scenes. You don't see when they go home and they fell off a beam and they've hit their head and they're actually scared the next day, and they've got that coach going, get back up on that pony and do it again right now 3 more times before you go home because you're not going to get scared. We got to move forward. And 4 events, it's excruciating. So what I love seeing is if they need to give their body a break or if they need to give their mind a break, good for them. I know that they love competing, but that's a whole new level. It's a whole new level when you're in that public eye like that because you feel like I'm letting people down. I don't want to let my team down. I don't want to let my country down. But I think probably the biggest thing for me is that regardless of how society is embracing it right now, that these athletes are taking their own needs and they're getting what they need.
Thank you. I agree with Kelly. Yeah, that I think that it's beautiful that those women stood up and became their own advocate because it is very rare in the sports world for lots of reasons. There's a lot of fear because there's a lot to lose, right? There's a lot of things that they can lose in regards to their career to stand up and speak up for themselves. So yes, it is a beautiful thing to see them stand up and say, no, I can't. I don't have it in me. I'm not. My mind is not right. And I'm just not capable. And, the sports world, the world in general, has a very, very, very long way to go. But we are making steps, and we are improving ourselves in regards to mental health. It is just not where it needs to be, but we are trying to get there. To learn information and to be better informed. But conversations like this is what's going to bring us closer. So the more that we have these kind of conversations and the more that we allow people that space to feel comfortable to say, hey, it's okay for you to say, I cannot. The connection between our physical self and our mental self is not far apart. We are all connected with our mental and our physical. If your physical body cannot do it, then your mental self cannot do it. And those women understood that. Simone Biles could not physically do it anymore, and she realized that if I physically could not do it, that means that I mentally cannot do it. And Doctor, he could attest to this, that my physical body, when I cannot, my mental state, I can try to force myself to go a little further, but at some point, my mental is not gonna be able to do that anymore. I'm not gonna be able to tell myself, okay, just a little bit longer. Okay, come on, we can do it just a little bit more. At some point, I'm gonna break down. At some point, I'm not gonna be able to push myself past 150. I'm just going to break down. And she realized if I did that, I would get rid of my entire career. So she said no. And so did Naomi. She said no. And so did, I can't remember his name, but he was a tennis player. He said no. And so many other athletes are starting to say no. And they're taking back that power. And it's a beautiful thing. So we do have a long way to go, but they are destigmatizing this mental health thing, and it is catching like fire, and before you know it, it's gonna be a beautiful thing for a lot of athletes. Absolutely. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I wanna
things that I could say to that, Ebony, is it had to happen. You
Right
know,
on.
and that's why we're here today, because we walk the walk so we can share with others that may be coming up. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah. We walk the walk so we can kind of share some of our things that we've dealt with, you know, with others. The its don't feel good. You know, when you walking through this thing and you going through a trial or a tribulation, or you just not feeling at your best, you got to know that you're birthing something, because God is doing his best work in that uncomfortable place. But it's only when you can take care of this. If you can't take care of your mental, you will be no good to nobody.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You will not.
Yes.
And that's why you have to be, we got to stay connected, people. We have to pray for one another. We have to speak things into one another. And again, like Sissy said, listen to hear people. Don't listen to respond. Do not, because we mess up a lot of things when we did that. Because I could have done that with my son, because I said, how dare you tell me about a healthy boundary. But yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Barry, I'm coming to you next. I attended one AAU basketball game for children, and I said I'd never go again because of the coaches and the parents. As a dad first, and then a surgeon, what do you want parents and coaches to know about how they push and speak to their student athletes?
That's a very complex question. Many of these kind of games, you'll see that the parent is far more into the sport than the child. That itself is a problem, and the coach should recognize that, because at the end of the day, you see the kids who are into it and you see the kids who are not. And those who are not, the parents, obviously, somebody needs to address that, because then what happens is if the kid decides not to play that sport, they feel like they're letting the parent down. And so you have to be very careful, and there are many parents and coaches who they're more focused on the win than developing the child, because we're talking about children, not adults. And that can do a lot to young players, and I will say young men, because I do a lot of mentoring with young men, and I see that a lot more. And just this whole kind of thing, we're talking about all sports, but we're focusing, it seems, a lot more on male-predominated sports. And one thing we have to keep in mind, that in a society where fewer and fewer strong men exist, it's very hard to man in today's society to keep pushing forward, to continue to provide, to be that dad, to be that father, to be that brother, and be that pillar of strength, and not be able to carry your own weight as well. And so we're forced in many ways to carry that weight, regardless of what we know on the inside is breaking down. Because you look around, any strong man can tell you there are a lot of people they're responsible for. And at the end of the day, you don't really have many people you truly can lean on. And that really comes down to the mothers or the women in our life. And if they're not really supportive of all that, you have to find alternative means. And some of the, and I'm sure these guys can tell you, many of these guys don't have anywhere. They end up, on drugs, start kind of drinking a lot more, and they slowly start deteriorating their life. I had a friend of mine recently with bad PTSD from 20 years in law enforcement, and just went off the rails, and had to be put in a halfway house and had to go through sobriety, because he was always that guy and eventually just could not do it anymore. So for those people in your life that you see are the strong one in the family, those men who are carrying that weight, you can tell when they're about to have enough. And that is not the time to ask for one more thing if it's really not that important. Because eventually those men start to feel like all they are is in the position of giving all the time, and they're never getting poured into.
Thank you. Denzel, you mentioned that it's bigger than football. Alan mentioned that sometimes athletes identify only as a football player and nothing else. I think your experience, you can give us some advice about motivation. And it doesn't just apply to football, I saw your face, not just to football, but just for life, because we all have days where we don't feel like it. Am I right? Am I the only one that has days where I don't feel like it? whether I'm getting paid to do it, people expect me to do it. There's some days I just don't want to. What kept you motivated, Alan? And Denzel, what keeps you motivated?
Oh yeah, thank you, Dad. So what keep me motivated? My reason, my why, my kids. So I mean, people that don't have kids, if you need motivation, go to YouTube. I do it sometimes. Go to TikTok. I don't know, just go listen to a reel, listen to a prayer. But for me, my motivation are my kids. I have mouths to feed. Before my kids, I just wanted to take care of my family, make sure my mom, my parents are straight. If my brothers ever need anything, I'm always there for them. Yeah, but my kids are my motivation. I ain't gonna lie, you got me with that one. I find my motivation on YouTube. So,
what is it that you watch? Maybe someone needs to know.
watch, I like to watch this guy named Eric Thomas. He's one of the big motivated speakers. What's the other dude? No, the bald head guy. Sorry, Doc. The bald head dude. The bald head guy, I don't know. He used to be like a Marine or something.
He was all three, Army, Marine.
Yeah, him.
And
David
Navy,
Goggins or something like that.
Yeah.
I go and listen to they motivational speaks. When I'm not in the mood, I'm always not in the mood. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is year 10. Been consistent. I'm still trying to find a routine, but when I'm out of it, I just think about my kids and I go watch a motivational video and get up and get moving. If I don't do it, nobody else will. So, yeah.
Thank you, Alan.
I had different phases, all through our life. When I was a kid, it was my goal to make it to the NFL, and that was enough in itself. Nothing was gonna stop me. As far as I always had the discipline to do what I had to do on the field, not get in trouble, and just be strict on okay, I'm gonna make it. Wherever team I went to, I knew I was gonna play. The high school that I went to, they wasn't putting out a lot of people in college. And my mom wanted to take me away from that high school, but for me, I told her that, I'm gonna make it. And for me, that dream, it meant so much, and being able to accomplish that, it kept me on the track, no matter what I was doing, it just continued to keep it right in front of me and not let anything get in the way. Of course, that kind of hindered me in some ways, as far as just a overall, being a better person, mental health and everything in that aspect. But as far as getting to my dream, that was my motivation, and nothing was gonna get in the way, and to transition to when I finished playing, my motivation is my kids, and that, for that, you just look at everything different. Everything.
So we've got moms of motivated sons. Maybe in the future there's a dads of motivated sons. We'll see. Thank you for sharing that. Erica and Sandra, you all raised really good boys. Really good boys. And I'm not just giving them the credit for their accomplishments professionally, but the relationship that you have with them. Are you saying that he's taking the credit? Dad? You were, yes, you were. Thank you. You all did. But here's the thing, and here's why I mentioned that the relationship that you have with your sons is key. And I'm around a lot of parents, a lot of mothers and their sons. There's some things that I see that moms aren't doing well with their boys. Can you each give one thing that you think you did right in raising your sons, your student athletes, and one thing that you want to ensure other parents do not do?
Beat your kids all year.
So let's start with something that you did right to have this relationship, because these are men with their own families and they're still close to you. Something you did right, something you want to ensure the mothers do not do.
For me, I was very, very disciplined with him, very hard. Like he said, those 330 days out the year, I did beat him because as you all can see, he's a comedian. He likes to tell jokes all the time, and that was one of the issues he had in school. So I was very hard on him, and again, I didn't let him start anything without finishing what he started. If I can leave something that what was the, I'm sorry.
Something you want to ensure other mothers do not do. For example, I think sometimes parents baby their children a little bit.
I can't say this enough. Support your child's dream and not your dream.
That's it.
Support your child's dream and not your dream. Because sometimes we want our kids to do what we want to do, and they get caught up in doing what we want to do, and then they're not successful because that's not what they wanted to do. So I would say support them in whatever endeavor and whatever goals that they want to achieve.
Something you feel you did right, and one thing you want other moms, other parents not to do with their student athletes.
Okay, I think the very number one thing was the education part of it. I was a high school dropout. I had a kid young, Alan's brother, and he was 1 pound 12 ounces, so I had to be to the hospital. I dropped out of school, long story short, but I always knew that I'm going back to I don't want a GED, I want my diploma. So I ended up going back to school, getting my diploma, and my kids and we was all in college together. And that was one of the things I can say I taught them. Testing? Oh, yeah. I taught them that, education was first, but then if education was first, you're a high school dropout. How could you tell me that, Mom? So they didn't know I went back and got my diploma. I went back and got the diploma, and like I said, my kids and we all was in college together, and that's one of the things I taught them. I don't care about no sport. I don't care if you don't play another down in your life. Give me those degrees. Give me that education, because that's one thing they cannot take from you. They cannot. So that's what I think I did right, and as a parent, I didn't listen. Parents, we have to listen to our kids. I didn't listen. I thought that I was always right. I really did. I didn't give him the see, Alan was sneaky, and my niece attest to that. I learned some things about Alan that they literally blew my ever-loving mind.
Hey, we talking about a parent, not the son right now.
But, the thing is, you just really have to, really listen, pay attention to your kids. If they're acting out, if they're what we call is bad, please check. It could be something wrong. It could be something really wrong. Valerie know me from high school. I was a fighter. Middle school. Well, I was there too. You know it. Mm-hmm. But the thing, I thank God for change. I was bleeding on people that didn't cut me because of what happened to me. I was raped at 10 years old. They never understood why I hovered over them. But it had to happen. I know it sounds so cliche, and some of you may be even saying, how could you say that it had to happen? It birthed a beautiful thing. That's why I'm here before you all today, standing clothed in my right mind only by the grace of God. Only by his grace that I raised them. It was 3-4 years ago when y'all found out about it? I said I would never tell them. But then they understood why. So talk to your kids. Have those hard conversations. But when they tell you some stuff, don't show like, I'm going to beat your butt. Like, oh, don't do it, because they're never going to talk to you again. Me and my kids had open dialogue. We really did. But this one here, sneaky, yeah.
Thank you, Erica. Alan?
Yeah, I think another thing that's important is like how you talk to your kids when they're young, sit with them in their feelings. I think that's very important because, once you get older, and dealing with mental health, they had an example for in the household. They won't have to depend on the NFL or their job, because everybody have jobs. Their job's not worried about their mental health. You shouldn't expect the NFL to do it, but if you you see that in your household. You see how your parents sit in their feelings and how they continue to go on and express themselves in a positive way, even when they're going through a lot, you feed off that. And I love we having these conversations now, but even like having a kid now, it's so tough when they're at that age where they can't control. It's like no matter how much you try to explain, like, all right, Chase, I know you want this, but right now you can't. Your brother had it. It's just they can't control. But what they are watching and they go pick up as is how is my dad controlling his feelings? Is he expressing it in a positive way even when he's upset? And that's something that I'm really trying to get to.
Love that, emotional intelligence. Kelly, what was it like transitioning, from being a gymnast and cheerleader and a pro cheerleader to stepping away from the competition, stepping away from the pro lights, camera, action to being a civilian? What was that like for you?
I couldn't agree with Alan more when he was talking about get something else to develop other qualities and other talents, because thank God I was in nursing school when I was cheering professionally. So by the time that my cheerleading career was coming to an end, my nursing career was beginning. And so, and I know it's a job, but it was something I loved. I feel like God called me to. And so I still stay physically fit. I was able to go to the gym. I do other outlets. I do miss cheerleading. I always will. It was 20 years of my life. And so, and since I'm only 25, y'all, gosh, I mean, that's like, anyway, but no, seriously, yeah, just have we all have multi-talents. We do, whether it be in a job or whether it be a sport or whether it be, volunteering your time, crafting. Like, I can't draw, I'm not artistic, but go learn an instrument. Do something out of your norm. Break the mold, break the characteristic barriers. Don't rob yourself of trying something new because you're afraid to fail. You fail 3 times, fail 4 times, do it. Just get up and do it, and guess what? There's gonna be something else. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, in 2 weeks, no matter where you are, in 2 weeks you will be replaced. So you talk about having a passion for something. You talk about having a purpose for something. This is why we're saying have your identity in Christ. Because in 2 weeks, that vacancy where you were so needed at work, go visit that have that trip, that dream trip. Forgive that relative. Y'all, life is too short. Life is too short. We are multidimensional human beings, spiritual, physical, mental, and God has given us a talent for everything in each one of those arenas. So I challenge you guys to explore them, because I think you'd surprise yourself. But that's the only way I was able to transition, is because I was having something. It was a new season in my life.
Thank you, Kelly. Ebony, from a mental health perspective, what advice would you give to someone who is waking up today and realizing, I don't have any other interests. I don't have any other hobbies. I've just been football player, basketball player, athlete, model, dancer, whatever. What do I do now that I no longer have that thing that I identified so closely with? What advice would you give to them today?
So, this was a question that it kind of threw me off a little bit. And so I talked to my husband, who is a former athlete, and we were having the conversation. Yeah, kudos to him. Yay, hubby, hey. And so we were talking, and I was telling him about this video that I was watching from a former football player. I don't know what team he played for, but he was talking about this concept of a playbook, and he said that he was transitioning from one playbook to another playbook or something like that. I guess y'all do over there. And so the coach told him, like, it's okay, don't trip about it. Like, this playbook is like the other playbook. So it's the same concept. One playbook is like the next playbook. And that's life. Nothing changes. So the foundation is the foundation. Wherever you start and you pick up and you go to something new, your foundation is your foundation. So when we're in this transition of life, you pick up and you leave football and you decide to retire, football has left, but your foundation has not changed. So all that you knew is all that you know. Nothing has changed. And so if someone were to come to me, there's nothing to be afraid of because you know everything. Nothing has changed. The foundation is still there. So, that's just what I would let them know. And it's just my job to now support you in that space. And so we just have to make sure that we provide the support to those people who are trying to transition in that space, right? Because that's, you have everything that you need, whether you got it from being young, whatever mom taught you, whatever dad taught you, those coaches, little league coaches, middle school coaches, high school coaches, college coaches, all the teams you played in pro, wherever you played, all those individuals that you came into contact with, you networked with, all of those players that you came into contact with, all of those families that you came into contact with, every little thing that you were taught, everybody who you connected with, all that you learned attached to your foundation. So when you leave, you know all that you need to know. And it was for a purpose. God did not let you meet who you meet for no reason at all. So when you go on your further journey, it wasn't for no reason at all. So there was nothing to be afraid of. So that's what I would let them know.
Thank you. I have one final question for all the panelists, and then we can take some questions from the audience if there are. What has the role, or how important has faith been in your life to this point?
We're back on, babe. Yeah. You're on mute.
I said we still have a little ways to go, and I know a couple of you have to go, but the video is just so good. There were so many jewels dropped on there, and I'm telling you, it was just amazing. All the info that was shared. I didn't anticipate it to take this long. I know I just have a little bit more way to go, but that I just want to hear, what do you guys think? You guys could go if need be, but I just want to hear before you have to go. What do you think thus far, hearing yourself? Because when you're there, I know you're hearing, but you're like in the moment at that time. But just to see yourself now, what do you think? Well, let's get Denzel highlight really quick before we move on to that. Denzel, what would I'm just saying, what was your highlight of the night, nephew? That's all I'm saying.
I feel like we're high, everybody. I know I'm really late getting off. Just got a flight to catch. But my highlight of the night was just being up there with everybody, honestly. Instead of being virtual. Just being up there with everybody. I feel like it was very authentic. It was very real. Every Monday is real. Every show is real. But I felt like just being there, actually, hearing everybody. I guess you got the sense of feel, what they were saying. When Alan had that moment, I was actually there, to give him a hug, like, hey, need a hug, what I'm saying? It's all right. Let it out. It's all right, we're here for you. And instead of if it was virtual, somebody would have had to be there if they was watching the show or something like that. So, that was my highlight, honestly. That moment right there.
Yeah, I mean, that was well, you know what, nephew, to see that you both was real vulnerable and real. very transparent in everything, because there was a time when you had to walk off stage as well, and just to see that you guys open yourself up like that, and just to be real for the people to see, like, you guys are human, like you have moments too. I really think that sometimes people think like, okay, you guys are just robots, but all in all, y'all have moments. But just to see everything that we're looking at now is just so amazing to hear everything all over again. See, I didn't watch the full video, so I'm getting it raw like you guys are getting it, but I did do the recap. But this just everything that was shared that night was just phenomenal. So what do you guys think thus far? Sissy, I know you have to go, so we'll go with you first. What do you think thus far, seeing what you saw so far?
I think it's amazing. And like like Denzel said, to actually be live, with everybody on the panel, I think that's what made it more amazing. Not that, being like this isn't amazing, but just to be in person where we're with everybody, it was just good. And
Man,
again, the vibes, the questions, I was kind of scared about the questions Natasha was gonna ask, because again, I'm not a good behind the scenes person, put it that way. I'm behind the scenes person, but we got through it. And again, I mean, I can't say anything negative or find, a flaw. Everything was just good.
amazing. Oh my God. Well, as you can see, Shannon says, Denzel, I heard you behaved yourself.
I ain't want to
He
get
tried
popped
to
by
crack
my
up
mama.
one time. What you said, nephew?
I said I ain't want to get popped by my mama. I ain't want to embarrass her like that.
Oh my God. So tell me, after seeing what you saw, Kelly and Dr. B, what do you guys think? Just hearing everyone and seeing everyone. Like, I mean, I'm taking it all in because it's my first time seeing it. And I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, Dr. B's in the kitchen right now because
Oh,
we got hangry man back there. So he's listening in, but I think it was just the authenticity of everybody's answers, because it was something that they had experienced and lived and like had a valuable input on. Going back and hearing about Natasha asking me about the girls who stood up for their mental health, and I was trying to think of the word, they were advocating for themselves. And sometimes we just have to be our own advocate, and just everything was just poignant question. It was pertinent to the night. Like I said, just the authenticity, the genuine answers. And I think that the crowd being so engaging, sitting up there for a while, kind of talking back and forth without them actually physically asking the questions at the time. Sometimes you lose them, and everybody. I never looked out once and saw somebody not looking back and nodding, or like she had said earlier, like somebody was impacted by something throughout the night, whether it be the fellowship or the conversations. And a lot of these questions, whether it be sports, family, it's really just about life and just about how we all struggle, but we all succeed. And in that journey, we may fail doing that, but there's a learning season. My favorite part was hearing Ebony's answer about the foundation. That right there, I remember I was like, there was something that like just struck a little flame in my heart. And when she was talking about moving from one season to another, because it's foundation upon foundation. Because if you don't have that solid foundation in one season, even in the spiritual realm, God's not going to elevate you to the next, because new levels, new devils. And so God's not going to set you up for failure in that arena. And so I think that was very, very touching. That was such a great kind of overall point for the night, even with family, with the sons, Denzel and Alan talking about their kids, just seeing guys who are supposed to be strong and hard all the time, even Dr. B, just kind of on point all the time. When they come home, they're men. They're not, he's not Dr. B when he comes in the door. He's my husband, and he has needs, and he needs to come in, and what he's fighting out there, he's not going to fight out here. And I know Denzel and probably Alan feel the same way. they're not football players when they walk in the door. They're Alan and Denzel, and they just want families to love them and their women and their family to support them in who they are when they come in. Because guess what? That's who they married, and that's who they're going to be with the rest of their life. They're not going to always be football players. He's not always going to be a doctor. I'm not always going to be a nurse. We're not always going to be in our identified careers. And so we have to love people through the lens that Christ has loved us, so that can carry on with the foundation that God has given us for loving them in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Mm, that's good. Wow.
And Dr. B says, big shout out to everybody.
Dr. B, eat some for me because I'm hungry too.
We were so impressed with Natasha. She just blew it away. So.
She did. She really did. Come on, Ebony.
It was very overwhelming, but in a very good way. To hear all of the information and it to be presented so well, and just to see those young men be so vulnerable, and to trust not just us, but to trust the crowd of people with their thoughts, with their feelings, with their emotions, and to see that strength, to see that level of strength in them on a in a different space. We see them as strong men on the field. We see them as strong men in their respected positions, and then we were able to see them strong in their emotions and strong in their vulnerability. So it was great. It was an opportunity for them to be models to those watching them in that space as well. You had young men in the room to see that happening, that saw it was okay to be vulnerable, in those emotions as well. And just everyone in their respected places being able to, just say things so eloquently, and just to speak so well, and just to be able to touch on different levels the people in the room, again, like I said before, and impact, and have needs met the way that they were met. I just thought it was beautiful. And I loved it. Yes, I loved it.
Oh my God. Well, Denzel, we know that you're on your way to the airport, so let's get you before you have to get out soon. What do you think for the little piece that you did catch, or what you saw there that day?
What I thought overall?
Yeah.
I think it was a great experience. Like my mom said earlier, just like it being live, you really ain't got time to think. You can't act like your connection went out. Give yourself a couple seconds, to answer questions. And just having like the audience there, I guess, to get a facial response, like a physical response, what you're saying, a head nod, that like they're agreeing what you're saying, and you're really not just sitting behind the screen and, trying to figure out, how the audience feel about, your answers and good stuff like that. So just the live experience itself. And again, just all us being on one stage and not in different areas, just everybody just coming together, making a lovely podcast. And my highlight, honestly, was at the end when the Jugger News came through. And, I was walking in and out with them. So that was my highlight of the night.
I think that was everybody's highlight, at least a piece of it. Because let me tell you something, we tried to hide it, but Natasha's face was everything. But definitely, did you see Dr. B on the floor dancing? Did you see that?
Girl, he was so happy.
Yeah, that was everything. Just and definitely before you came on, we were talking about how none of this was rehearsed. This was just genuine, all of God's doing. Like we didn't rehearse anything. Everything just fell right into place. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Natasha, what do you think? You held us down.
There were
parts
that I forgot about. So watching the video, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And 7 people on a panel is a large panel, but it flowed so smoothly between all of you, and one person's answer flowed into the next question and into the next person. And the band at the end, that was like a double on top of the event. That was like a double wow and gift for me because, being from the Caribbean, I haven't been to Carnival in years. So to see them in person, to hear them live, and then the last song they played was, from a Trinidadian artist. So I was especially pleased. There was no better way for that night to end for me.
Man, that was awesome. So let me see if I could boost up the video to that, because I want you all to be able to see how we ended our night. But we definitely want to go ahead and shout out our sponsors. So let me see if I can just get the video to go to that point really quick, guys. Let's see.
On the healthy boundaries and the sleep. 2 p.m. is an ideal nap time. Once again, round of applause for all of our panelists today. And a round of applause for you all for being here. We appreciate you.
Check. Hey, let me interact. Cousin, come up to your mom. Denzel, go to your mom. Go to grandma for a second. Des, come over. He's already here. Well, this is a family thing because I remember when my cousin used to get us in trouble when we used to be playing football in front of the house. And Auntie used to say, "Don't run on my grass." Remember that? So, so it was a thing, Elizabeth, Ohio, and Indiana, right there. But she didn't know that I was going to do this, Auntie. This is from her, your grandkids, and from your son-in-law. It's called "I Give It All to You." Never have I given my heart. We was always ready, hoping we'd never apart. Mom, you have changed us through love and time, so what else can we do but put it all on the line? The house, the car, the camera, to be able to see, but are a few things that are valuable to me. To have you and your love are at the top of the list. For the lost of either, we no longer could exist. If our soul did not belong to God, we would give it to you. To give you our life and soul is the most we can do. We love you, dear. We want you to know for the rest of our lives, our love will show. Y'all kiss your grandma.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Oh Lord, I'm doing the robot up there.
Y'all miss Kelly dancing.
We don't no.
Special thanks to Sawanda and Takia for assisting with everything you see here. Special thanks to Sandra for the decorations. We want to make sure that we acknowledge her.
Gorgeous.
Special thanks to our DJ, our videographers, our photographers. We appreciate you. And to the chef, thank you, because we're about to eat.
Yes. I'm just going to mention the sponsors real quick, and if I leave anybody out, I know we're going to be mentioning some later too. Alan Hurns, the 112 Project, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, UBS, Rosenhaus Sports, Body Armor Drinks, Shy Howard, Ron Butler, James Smith, Shannon Jackson, Taisha from Atlanta, 10K Creations, Tips Good Eats, Paula's Creations, and It Had to Happen. And I'm going to say grace so that when y'all do get your food, y'all can dig in. So our most gracious and heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you so much. Lord, we just honor you for who you are, Lord. You are worthy far beyond of our praise, Lord. Let every breath that we have yearn to love you. Let us pour out our oil for you tonight, Lord. Let us pour out our hearts on for you, Lord. Lord, we just pray that you bless this food for the nourishment of our body, Lord. Protect us, mind, body, soul, and spirit, Lord, as we are here. Protect us as we are coming and going, Lord. Get all the glory, Lord. Holy Spirit, move, have your way, and have your will. And it's Jesus' name we ask and pray. Amen, amen, and amen.
What a night.
Yes.
What a night.
We're ready for round 2, Erica.
Yes. We can't do in, you guys. We got to do a part 2 soon. Very soon. Amazing. And I want to truly, truly do thank you all for giving of your time, giving of your gift God has loaned us, just being so open and honest and transparent. I'm talking about just loving, just thank you, bringing your families out, traveling to the event, just believing in the vision. I mean, guys, thank you so, so very much. You don't know how much we appreciate it all. Every guest, every sponsor, anyone that helped pour into this event, you allow God to use you to pour into this event. So we know the next round is going to go higher. Bro already said it, white linen, white gold, all white. We don't know, but stay tuned. We have something great coming for you all. Again, we could have not done this without the help of our Heavenly Father. He showed up and he showed out. So thank you to all of you. So go ahead, Kelly, and lead the audience with something on today.
Oh, Lord. Just
I'm so full.
I love that. You got to bring it to Duval. Y'all got that?
Yes, we coming. Wait, Kelly, I need you to say that right. Hold on. Duval. I used to have to say that.
That's not your middle name. It's a place. It's funny. Barry goes, "I'm gonna get you," because that's his middle name. But and I said, "That's not what they're saying. It's a place." Now, when he gets ugly, y'all can middle name him. For June, yeah.
Natasha says she recharged for June.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I needed to see it.
We're gonna go to Tampa. We're gonna take this thing to Jacksonville. We're going. Tosh, listen, we're going. I'm feeling. We're going West Palm Beach. Come on, y'all. Let's do this.
Let's down to the west side, y'all.
I'm telling you, this is amazing. I mean, I'm so full. Right. Listen, I know I'm hungry, but no, seriously, just to see and hear. Yeah, we were in the building, but just to hear everything all over again. Yeah, I remember that, but whoa, I missed that. Amazing. You all were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So again, thank you.
I'm so happy for Erica because you wrote down the vision and God made it happen. So I'm happy for you.
Praise be. Let me tell you something. A lot of sleepless nights, but God, but God, He allowed us. You understand? He knew who he can trust when he could trust him to bring this event together. And had not we went into that room and prayed together, we don't know how that thing would have turned out. But God. So what do you say, Ebony? Y'all know me and Ebony go all the way back too. Her son is Alan's godfather. It was so awesome for them two to reconnect, even though they're in the same city but don't see each other. But okay.
Yes, you guys. I mean, it was amazing on so many levels. Outside of the fact that we have connected on this platform, I know Erica when Erica was in another space. So it's beautiful to see Erica's transition to this space. And I love it. I'm telling you, I love it. My mother was there to see Erica in this space and the glory of the Lord. Okay. And she was there to minister to Erica that night and to speak words to Erica. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful to see Alan connect with Tyler again on so many levels and to see Tyler's growth because they haven't seen each other since Tyler was like 5 or 6 years old. So to see him at 16 is big. And, and now to see Tyler talking about recruiting and, coaches recruiting and stuff like that. And that conversation, it's beautiful to have all of those different, parts right? So it's just beautiful. It's just amazing to see all of those different things, and I love how God does what God does, because he does it with no mistakes, and he does it so great, and he does it so amazing, and it's just so awesome when he does what he does. And so I'm here for it, and I'm all about the way he moves, so I love it. So yes, it was great.
And I'm glad that you just said what you said, Ebony, because a lot of times people see my now and didn't even know what I had to go through back then. And I'm glad that you witnessed both. That just, and when your mom spoke in my ear that night, she don't even know what she did for me. But just what she said to me, and I'm not going to share it, I'm being stingy. But
It's
just what she
yours, girl.
said,
That's all
yes,
yours.
yes, thank you, Jesus. But just what she said to me, it gave me, it lit fire, and I just asked God to continue to strengthen me to keep on keeping on. Even in the darkest days, I still go, you know. People think that you don't go through the darkest days, but you do. And when you talk about the lonely nights, they're lonely,
Yes, ma'am.
but it's in that lonely space that you just can begin to hear.
Mhm.
And if I was still in my then, I couldn't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if anybody that's under the sound of our voice, if you're afraid to take that next step for God, baby, please don't be afraid. It won't be easy, but it definitely will be worth it. I won't change it for nothing. Even my back then, I won't. It had to happen.
It
It
had
had.
to happen. It
Yeah.
had to happen. Yeah. And the word says, but seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Yes.
And
And
he'll
his
add.
righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. So
Mhm.
our only responsibility is to be intentional and
That's
seek his
it.
face.
That's
That's
it.
it. And everything else will be added. All the things that we want, all the things that we need, all the things that we're trying to do will
Mm.
be added. So
Yeah.
everything that we're questioning, all the things that the visions and the dreams and the goals that we're trying to achieve, we seek his face. Don't worry about how it's going to happen and
Oh.
what we have to
Mhm.
do. We just got to seek his face. So that's our responsibility. And, that's what this podcast is for. That's what you brought all of us together to remind people of. That's what our job and our purpose is for, to show that, to be the examples of
Yeah.
people who are simply seeking his face
Mm.
constantly, not moving on our own haste and doing what we want to do, but simply saying, hey, God, this is what I think you said you want me to do. So let me continue to seek your face and,
Mm.
listen out for the next step, and everything else will be added. And
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
That's
So
it.
that's what we have to continue to do.
I just put up a post this morning. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold.
Hmm.
And when that oil was poured out, listen, when I poured the oil out, I travel with my oil, by the way, but I was like, okay, you don't have to use much. I don't remember who that was. They said, they were like,
Like,
don't tell me what to
spread it
use.
like lotion. Like,
But that's God's oil. I had to pay a dear price for that oil,
mhm.
and I just thank God. Come on, Natasha, because you had to be
It
there.
was the perfect night with everyone bringing their gifts, talents, abilities, purpose. We all came together for one assignment. And the result of us collectively bringing our gifts, our talents, skills, abilities, passions, purpose was that everyone left impacted. Everyone left with what they needed. And
Yeah.
I'm still feasting on it. That video is going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be referencing it, not just for the content, but so that I can relive the spirit of the room. Because sometimes, you forget that there are places where you belong, the places where it just feels like home, regardless of if people know your name or not. It just feels like home. That felt like home for me like I had known you all forever, that we were just, getting together, just one day. No, who would have thought that we came from different places and states and drove in, and it didn't even feel like that. And I know for me, I need to remember, in times when I feel alone, isolated, like nobody gets me and understands me, I need to go back and reflect on this event to remember that, yeah, it did happen and it can happen again.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh my God, such a beautiful time. Man, well, we have reached the end of our night because I want to go eat. But this here, I'm going to be sharing the pictures with you all. I ask that you share
Mhm.
them and the video. I mean, because this here, this too good to sit on. It is too good to sit on. And I hope and I pray that by the time this video airs, and we put it on social media on different sites, I pray that it can impact even the more. And I'm decreeing and I'm declaring that right now, that God is going to move in somebody's lives, not somebody, but some lives. When they see this video, it's going to be an outlet for them. They're going to be able to see, like, okay, well, yes, I may be going through this now, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a God that sits high and looks low. No matter what I may have done, no matter the things I may have said, he still loves me. He still will accept me. But that don't mean to keep sinning, guys. It just means to know that God loves us unconditionally. We know sometimes people love us with conditions, but God loves us unconditionally.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't let that stop you wherever you may find yourself. Keep pushing, because I'm telling you, I just knew when I came out, I was coming out with a purpose, and I knew that I wanted to serve. That was my main thing there. So if you ladies could leave the audience with anything going tonight, what will it be, Ebony?
Stay encouraged.
Yeah. That's
For
it.
me, it's find your
Stay
tribe.
encouraged.
What was it?
Find your tribe. Find your tribe. And it may not necessarily be the people who are around you right now, but it's like this was the first time that Erica and I met in person, first time that I met Ebony, and you would never have thought it. And so there are people that you're called to. There's a people called to support you. And so you need to find those people. And that was my takeaway, one of my takeaways from the event. Find your people, stay there, remain there, because not only is it safe there, but that's where you find the encouragement, motivation, the strength, the inspiration to keep on going when you don't want to. And sometimes when you want to quit, you can lean on the faith of someone else, the encouragement of someone else, the belief that someone else has for you to jumpstart your inspiration and motivation. And I'm just happy that I was able to be there and to feel it, to experience it, and to have the memories of it.
Whew. And you guys didn't even see the whole video. So wait till you just see the entire video. It was amazing. I'm telling you, it's just a tearjerker, all of that. It was just great. And again, find your why, like Alan say, please find your why. And stop putting your happiness in the hands of others.
Yes.
You need to be happy. You make yourself happy, love yourself, and then it'll be easy. First, love God, and then everything else will fall into place. But continue to be, even if people are not being great to you, continue to be a good person, continue to be a great person, because God is not going to see them. He see them, but he's worried about what you're doing. He's worried about what, why you're doing what you're doing and what you're doing. So please do keep on keeping on. Do not give up. Natasha, if you on a 2 and I'm on a 10, I'll give you some of my 10. Or if I'm on a 1 and Ebony, you on a 10, I'm sure you'll give me some too. That's what you're talking about when you say find your tribe, because it should be people that can pick you up in the spirit and don't have to ask a question. They just know to go to war for you. At the end of the day, We love you guys here. It had to happen, and we cannot do this without you, and you. We thank you again to all of our amazing sponsors, our guests, the panelists, the family, everybody that took part into this event. We truly, truly, truly do thank you. Share this video if it have blessed you so it can make an impact on someone else. And believe it or not, God brings things back full circle. I don't know if I shared this with you ladies really quick. One of the ladies that was in the audience, she was from 88 Blessings when 88 Blessings first started. And just to see her testimony that she wrote me, guys, it just broke me all the way down. So the thing is, you never know who you're impacting, because had I not seen her again, I probably wouldn't even know. But guess what? They're going to be a guest on the show. So later
Oh,
on,
wow.
17th, I'm telling you, God is doing a thing. He's doing a thing. And then not only that, ladies, let's not wait to come back live before we come back before the people again, because this is something that God is really, I really feel it in my heart of hearts. Like, this is something that's needed, not wanted, but needed. It's going to open the doors for so many different people. So let's go ahead and send them out with some virtual hugs. Oh gosh, I'm hugging y'all. Ebony, I should see you. I'm coming to Miami June for Carter's birthday. Carter's going to be 2.
Okay.
Baby's going to be 2. So I should be seeing you. And some virtual love. Natasha, let's get this thing going. Set up for Tampa. Let God have his way. I'm telling you, we're coming to a city or even a state near you. All right. God bless each and every one of you.
All
Until
right, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.